Welcome to Mayor's Minute on Castanet.net. I'm Dustin Godfrey and joined by Mayor Andrew Jacobite. Welcome.
Thank you.
In Council on Tuesday, Council agreed to review the 2012 parking plan. So I guess first off, can you tell us a little bit about what that entails?
Sure. So in 2012, we tried to look at a parking strategy, knowing that there's going to be parking pressures. We're losing about 250 spots that went either for development or were private lots that were informal parking that got into paid parking. And there's new pressures now moving forward. There's probably another 250 spots that are going. And so we started looking at pay parking in certain areas of downtown. We got requests from the community about residential parking. So when the hospital put in pay parking, that pushed a lot of parking into the residential neighborhoods. So we created residential-only parking around the hospital in certain areas of downtown, as I mentioned, as parking stalls got less and less, as that pushed out people parking into residential neighborhoods, and some people in the community were getting concerned that they couldn't park in front of their own home. And so we started creating a strategy, and last year we looked at putting parking along parts of Lakeshore, the commercial part of Lakeshore, from Power to the SS Sycamoose, and so Lackawanna Park, Riverside Park, and by Local Landing. We put in some ticket spitters, and on this week at Council we said, well, let's put a pause on everything. Let's put a hold on pay parking along Okanagan Lake, the commercial part of that, and those lots by Lackawanna Park, Riverside Park, and Local Landing. Let's put a hold on expanding resident-only parking. Let's not charge a fee for any of those sorts of things, and let's really go out and engage with not just the stakeholders but the community on what we should be doing about parking, where we should have pay parking, and all those sort of options. And people talk about parkades, and they're $35,000 a spot, and so if you're only charging $40 a month, $500 a year, it's almost 70 years before you get payback, and so they're very expensive. What other options are there? We're a very walkable community, so how do we get people to walk or cycle more, or to use transit? There's a car share program coming to Penticton. How do we get people to utilize that? And is there any middle ground with people who work downtown to be able to park in residential areas? Because a lot of the residential people are out or working themselves, and is there a compromise there, or do we need to put restrictions in place so people that live near downtown can actually park in front of their home or very close to their home when they come home from work or as they do their errands, that sort of thing?
Sure. And so about 250 spots have been lost in kind of the downtown area. Talking about downtown revitalization, you mentioned that you're looking to, or that the city would like to make it a little bit more walkable, but to kind of really bring more life to downtown, wouldn't you kind of is there a push to create more parking spots in the downtown area so people can come around and do shopping? Or
so there's two things. One is we want to have densification downtown, so people can work, live, and play downtown, and it's so close to so many of the amenities you can quite often walk. We also want to create attractions downtown that bring people to downtown, and so obviously if you're coming downtown for whether it's going to a movie, to get something to eat, or something else, then you need to park if you're not obviously living close by. And so that's part of the rub, and that's part of the balance that we try to have to find. And it's not as simple as it sounds, or it's expensive. And then it's expensive to build such as a parkade, or to buy more land for parking. And then no one really wants to pay for the privilege to park right beside where you want to go, and that's sort of the other problem the city is faced with. Right now, downtown parking generates about $400,000 a year, so it's significant. And so how do you, and we're trying to evaluate if we push parking strategy further out to the community, is there that same return on investment or bang for your buck, and how do you fund those, you want parking to be self-funding, and generate a revenue that's positive, not just revenue neutral with the expenses incurred to enforce and all that kind of stuff. So and how do you better utilize technology? So, if you are having paid parking, do you just have that in the summer months for the tourist season, or do you have options for a resident only to get a discount or free? And those are things that have been bantered about but never really investigated. And that's, I think, what staff wants to do, and to go out to the community and saying, here's a myriad of options, what best fits us, and see what the solutions come forward, and where that common ground is, or where most people resonate with, that we can maybe implement. And so in fall, it's going to come back with a staff report, and council will decide how we want to move forward with parking, or what levels.
Sure. That's been another week on Mayor's Minute on castanet.net. If you've got thoughts on parking in the downtown area or along the beaches, you can send us a letter to the editor at letters@castanet.net. If you've got a topic that you'd like to put to the mayor, you can send that straight to me at godfrey@castanet.net. Once again, thanks to Mayor Andrew Jacobite, and for Castanet News, I'm Dustin Godfrey.